One of the most common misconceptions in the golf swing for golfers who are trying to hit the ball further is that they need more power in the golf swing. And not that power is not important, but it's the understanding of what really helps the ball go further is the key. And I have a stick here, doesn't weigh anything, very, very light. And the reason I want to use this to illustrate a point that it's not power that you need in the golf swing. Because when I think of power, what happens for most golfers is they start thinking about taking their whole body, their hips and their torso and everything and putting all this mass into the ball. And while that feels very powerful, it's not. In fact, it actually impedes the release of the golf club and actually can tend to slow the golf club down and put a lot more wear and tear on your body as you're working harder to rotate on your hip and your spine through impact. What you need to realize is that all you're really looking for is speed. Speed is what's going to make the golf ball go further, apart from square club face and all those other things. We're just going to assume that those things are correct. What we're looking for is speed. And so you can imagine that just by sitting here and getting a little bit of snap in my wrist, I get a tremendous amount of speed with no effort. I can do this all day long, and you can hear the stick whipping through very fast. That should be your concept of the golf swing, not that you're trying to flip it with your wrist, but that's where the vast majority, anywhere from 65 to 75, 80% of your club head speed, depending on whose research you believe in, provides that much of your club head speed. So when you realize that your hands, even for the top players in the world, the fastest, longest hitters on the PGA Tour, the Hank Keeneys of the world, his hands at impact are only moving about 21 miles an hour with a driver, but he's producing 124 miles an hour of clubhead speed. 5 times, 6 times the speed that his hands are moving at impact is how fast the clubhead's moving. Now, part of that can be accounted for by the length of the shaft. Obviously, the longer it is, faster it's going to be moving. And 2, the release of the wrist. He's not trying to drive his body into it, because all that's going to do is maybe move his hands a little bit faster potentially, but that's going to delay the release of the golf club. What he's trying to do is get his hands to impact and then let them release. So this should be your feeling of the golf swing, not, oh, I'm going to rip through it as hard as I can. So if you don't have a stick around, a great way to start changing your concept of how you swing the golf club is to just take your club when you're warming up and flip it upside down and start making your golf swings and get the feeling of a release. This is what we're really looking for. It's not a tremendous amount of power. My body's not really doing anything, but I can get a tremendous amount of clubhead speed by getting the concept of not trying to move my body really fast, trying to move my body in the right sequence to accelerate everything, to really get speed only here. It only matters down here at the bottom. I don't care how fast your follow through is or your backswing. I'm trying to produce speed at this point. And so that means sequencing is the key and not just driving your body through as hard as you can. So rather than thinking about trying to produce power and hit with these big muscles in your body all the time, think about using your body to move in the right sequence to get the right alignments and positions and so on and so forth. And then at the bottom, we want to learn to release the club with speed. So just practicing with the club upside down can get you the feeling of, notice how quiet my body is, but there's a tremendous amount of speed, and that's what you want to feel in your golf swing.